Paddington waved his paws wildly in the air, and then, before anyone could catch him, he somersaulted backwards and landed with a splash in his saucer of tea.
For me, Halloween is the best holiday in the world. It even beats Christmas. I get to dress up in a costume. I get to wear a mask. I get to go around like every other kid with a mask, and nobody thinks I look weird.
Look up. Go on. Do it now. Stretch back your neck and stare up as far as you can. And then a little bit more. That's where you're going to have to look if you want to find Tally Olivia Adams. Up the sun disappeared behind the pointed silhouettes of the rooftops of Withington Town, like a hungry bad dog swallowing a ball of flames. And quick, eerie darkness fell like no other night Withington had ever known. The moon itself barely had enough courage to peek round the clouds, as though it knew tonight that something strange was going to happen. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. Now Danny was crying. He cried and he cried. He cried and his tears filled his spacesuit inside. Unless they were going to stay there forever, the dinosaur needed to do something clever. With a feeling of guilt deep down in its gut, its brain brewed a plan involving its butt. It knew there was only one thing it could do. To get them back home, it needed to poo.
The bears of Papana River Valley led a charmed life. When it was raining, they fished. When it was snowing, they hunted. When the sun shone, they sunbathed. Life was just peachy.
One day, an acorn fell from a tree and landed plop on Chicken Licken's head. "Help!" shouted Chicken Licken. "The sky is falling down. I must go and tell the king." And off went Chicken Licken to tell the king that the sky was falling down. On the way, Chicken Licken saw Henny Penny. "What's the matter?" she said. "The sky is falling down, and I am on my way to tell the king." "I'll come with you," said Henny Penny. And off they went to tell the king that the sky was falling down.
In a clump of trees on the edge of the park, there lived a badger. He was a very hungry badger, and his tummy wouldn't stop rumbling. One day, a boy came to the park. He had a sandwich with him. It had fresh white bread and peanut butter. It was a beautiful sandwich. The boy took his sandwich to the playground. He was about to take a bite when a girl bumped him, and it fell in the sandpit. Now the fresh white bread was covered in gritty sand. "Well," said the little girl, "you can't eat it now, it's disgusting."
Looking into the inside, she saw several coats hanging up, mostly long fur coats. There was nothing Lucy liked so much as the smell and feel of fur. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe and got in among the coats and rubbed her face against them, leaving the door open, of course, because she knew that it is very foolish to shut oneself into any wardrobe. Maya's mum had to spend almost 5 minutes trying to shake her awake the next morning. "Come on, you're going to be late for school!" Maya groaned and tried to hide her head inside a folded pillow. It had been after 4 o'clock in the morning when she'd crept back in after her adventure with the dream bandits. And
Matilda's parents owned quite a nice house with 3 bedrooms upstairs, while on the ground floor there was a dining room and a living room and a kitchen. Her father was a dealer in second-hand cars, and it seemed he did pretty well at it. "Sawdust," he would say proudly. "It's one of the great secrets of my success, and it costs me nothing. I get it free from the sawmill." "What do you use it for?" Matilda asked him. "Ha," the father said. "Wouldn't you like to know?" "I don't see how sawdust can help you sell second-hand cars, Daddy." "That's because you're an ignorant little twit," the father said. His speech was never very delicate, but Matilda was used to it.
Sophie opened the door and there was a big, furry, stripy tiger. The tiger said, "Excuse me, but I'm very hungry. Do you think I could have tea with you?" Sophie's mummy said, "Of course, come in." So the tiger came into the kitchen and sat at the table. Sophie. One morning, the little red hen walked to the field. She was looking for juicy worms to eat. She went scratch, scratch, scratch with her small little toes, and she found some grains of wheat. "Ooh," she cried. She fluffed her feathers. Cluck, cluck, cluck.
Who will help me plant the wheat?
Once upon a time, there were 3 children, Joe, Beth and Franny. They lived with their mother and father in a little cottage deep in the country. They had to help their parents both in the house and in the garden, as there was lots to do. Now one day...
Will you scratch my back? Shaggy Dog asked Mimi the poodle. Oh, said Mimi, scratch your back. No, thank you. I'm off to the poodle parlour for a wash and trim.